You just took ownership of a cruise ship, 9 decks, thousands of beds, a casino, a theater, a dozen restaurants, and a crew of over 1,000 people waiting for your first order. And in 6 hours, this ship has to leave port, full or not. Because right now, before a single passenger walks up the gangway, this ship is already burning through your money. That's the part nobody tells you when they hand you the keys. You didn't just inherit a floating resort, you inherited a machine that costs money to simply exist, whether it sails empty or full. From the outside, this looks like one of the best businesses on the planet. Cruise lines carried close to 35 million passengers last year, and the number keeps climbing. Nearly half of them head straight for the Caribbean, the same waters your ship is about to sail. Cabins are already booked, guests have already paid. You look at the passenger manifest and you see millions of dollars in ticket sales sitting in your account before you've even untied the ropes. But the ship you now run costs somewhere between $600 million and $1 billion to build. That number doesn't disappear once you own it. It sits there, in the background, the way a mortgage sits behind a house. Except this mortgage floats, and it has to keep moving to be worth anything at all. Here's your first reality check. Your engines don't wait for full occupancy. A mid-sized ship like yours burns somewhere between 150 and 200 tons of fuel a day just to keep the propellers turning and the lights on. At current prices, that's tens of thousands of dollars leaving your account every single day you're at sea before a guest orders a single drink. Fuel alone eats up something like 15 to 20% of everything you'll spend running this ship this year. And even sitting still in port, generators keep humming, air conditioning keeps blowing through 1,000 cabins, and the meter keeps running. So where does the money actually come from? Not entirely from the ticket. That's the part that surprises most new owners. Passengers on a trip like yours pay somewhere around $190 a day for their cabin. That sounds like real money multiplied across thousands of guests for a week at sea. But that ticket price also has to cover food, entertainment, crew wages, fuel, and the wear on $1 billion asset. The ticket gets you in the door. It doesn't necessarily make you rich. The real money shows up after boarding. Drink packages, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, excursions in port, the casino, the spa. On average, passengers spend more than $80 a day on top of their ticket. And for you, that spending carries a much better margin than the cabin they slept in. Cruise executives have quietly admitted something that would surprise most vacationers. Nearly half of that onboard spending is locked in before guests even step onto the ship, booked through an app weeks in advance. You're not really selling cabins. You're selling a week-long environment designed to make people spend once they're inside it. Now flip to the other side of the ledger, because this is where ownership stops feeling glamorous. Your crew isn't small. Industry norms put 1 crew member on staff for roughly every 2 to 3 passengers, meaning a ship your size carries well over 1,000 people working around the clock, from the bridge to the kitchens to housekeeping. Average pay runs around $2,000 a month per crew member, though officers and specialists earn considerably more. Multiply that across your entire staff, and payroll alone is one of the largest recurring costs you'll face every single week, whether the ship sails at half capacity or completely sold out. Then there's food for thousands of mouths 3 times a day for 7 straight days. There's insurance on a structure the size of a small building that happens to float through open ocean. There's the commissions you pay travel agents for filling your cabins in the first place. Add fuel, crew, food, and commissions together, and you start to see the shape of the problem. Most of your biggest costs don't care how many passengers are actually on board. They show up either way. And then there's the cost you don't think about until it happens to you. Every few years, usually every 3 to 5, depending on the age of the ship, your vessel has to leave passenger service entirely and go into dry dock. Regulations require it. Inspectors need to see the hull out of the water. During that stretch, which can run several weeks, your ship earns 0 ticket revenue and 0 onboard revenue, while a major refit can cost well over $100 million. It's the equivalent of your entire business shutting its doors for a month at the exact moment you're writing one of the largest checks you'll write all decade. This is the operational pressure every cruise owner eventually faces. You have a business that must keep moving to make money, powered by an asset that periodically has to stop moving completely. So here's the decision point. If your ship sails half empty, fuel and crew costs stay almost exactly the same as if it were full. but your revenue collapses. Sell tickets cheap to fill cabins, and you protect occupancy, but shrink your margin on every guest. Hold prices firm, and you risk sailing with empty rooms that still cost you fuel, food, and crew, whether anyone's sleeping in them or not. That's why the real question isn't how many tickets did you sell? It's how full does this ship need to be, with people spending money once they're aboard to cover a week that costs you a fortune no matter what happens. Run the math on a realistic week and the picture becomes clear. At close to full occupancy, with healthy onboard spending, a single week can generate several $1,000,000 in total revenue. Strip out fuel, crew, food, and commissions, and there's real money left over. On paper, but that number never gets to keep all of it. It still has to answer to insurance, marketing, port costs, and eventually that dry dock bill sitting several years down the calendar, plus whatever you owe on the 9-figure vessel underneath your feet. So is owning a cruise ship a good business? It depends entirely on one word: occupancy. Sail full, keep passengers spending once they're aboard, and the economics can work because your biggest costs barely move whether you're at 50% capacity or 95%. That's the trap and the opportunity in the same sentence. A cruise ship isn't priced like a hotel room you rent out one night at a time. It's priced like a factory that has to run at near full output every single week, or the fixed costs eat everything you would have earned. This is a scale-dependent, occupancy-dependent business. Spectacular when it's full, brutal when it isn't. Which brings you back to where you started, standing at the gangway with the keys in your hand. 9 decks, 1,000 crew. A ship that costs more than most companies are worth. It's not a floating hotel you own. It's a machine that has to stay full, stay moving, and stay spending. Because the moment it stops, on any front, the bill keeps coming whether you're ready for it or not.